Alright, hello everybody. Back to resume this Pacal the Second reboot. Just taking a quick look around my city, so I'm going to need some more workers. I'm going to try to generate another great scientist. And I need to pick up monarchy here in order to do a 2-for-1 civic switch. So I'm going to make this trade with Pacal here, so that gives me monarchy. So I can switch over to hereditary rule and caste system. So I'm going to be focusing on techs that I'm going to need to wage war. And so that's going to mean going down the machinery and engineering lines. So with this great scientist, I'm going to found an academy in the capital. I guess there's really not any benefit to be had by bulbing philosophy at this point. The AIs are not going to trade me anything worthwhile.
It is from their foes, not their friends, that cities learn the lesson of building high walls.
So 2 of these guys actually have construction. They're just not ready to trade it yet. Yeah, this is part of the issue of playing on continents as opposed to Pangea. On continents, the AIs are going to be more reluctant to trade techs. But that's part of the challenge. So I'm going to get these fur resources online so that I can trade them around. Fur trade's actually going to be pretty lucrative. So in the capital here, need to keep an eye on the happiness situation. And de Gaulle demands 80 gold. Which is kind of annoying, but I don't want to risk having him declare war on me. Because he does have open borders with everyone. And I'm actually making decent gold per turn, so I don't think it's worth the risk, even if it were just a minor risk. Okay, so this place has grown another population, so I'm gonna start workers in both of these cities. First, a De Gaulle for 7 gold. Furs for 6 gold to Brennus. I'll have to renegotiate these deals as the AIs get more gold per turn, because I can be doing somewhat better than 7 and 6 gold per turn. Yeah, so these AIs are not willing to trade anything worthwhile. This is definitely going to slow down my tech pace. Some Brennus Steele's code of laws. Of course, I didn't know that was going to happen. If I knew that was going to happen, obviously I would have traded him something for it. But I am going to avoid helping Brennus whenever possible. So I think the tricky thing for me is to be able to crank out enough medieval units quickly. So probably, well, I don't know if I'm going to end up doing this, but one of the things I could do is to build a bunch of ancient era units. So things like swordsmen, axemen, Hulkins, archers even, and get a great merchant and upgrade all the ancient era units to medieval era units. So that could potentially help me a great deal because I've got quite a few forests to chop here. And this time around I'm going to have more workers available so they can chop the forests quickly. But the medieval units cost considerably more hammers than the ancient units, and so I am seriously contemplating getting a great merchant after the next great scientist. So I'm building a worker in Uxmal for military police purposes. And I need to get some workers there in order to mine those hills. And I need to build a settler to found a city to claim the iron and also the silver to the north.
Nadul! Ishmanik! Nadul!
Oh, huh. Okay. Looks like Brennus got a great merchant, which he sent into my territory, of all places. I'm gonna build that settler here at Uxmal and send some workers over to help chop the forests into the settler, I think. Okay, so Joao switches to hereditary rule as well, so I can accumulate some civic bonus with him. So I'm not going to erode that copper just yet because I want to retain the option of building warriors for military police purposes. Because I think I'm going to have to station a number of those warriors in the capital, because I can't spare the turns there to build happiness infrastructure. So, lost another border tile. Which sucks, of course, but can't really help it. Getting a bit close to the happiness cap in the capital. And a swordsman appears in the frozen north. And since I don't have access to metal, I can't build axemen to defend myself. So I guess I have to build a road on that copper after all.
Mabal Kubin. Bishbin Uchikbal.
Okay, finally these guys are going to trade construction, now that all three of them have it. So I'm going to need to put a turn into construction to get it from Joel. So it's going to be a useful tech for military purposes, but also for building ball courts. Okay, so somebody built the AP. I don't know who, but somebody did. Which means that it's time to start building some Buddhist buildings for the hammer bonus.
Tiba.
Okay, so can I get construction from Joao? Yes. Go ahead and do that.
And on the pedestal these words appear. My name is Ozymandias, King of Kings. Look on
And
my
finish
works, ye
up
mighty,
civil service.
and despair.
Nadul.
The bureaucracy is expanding to meet the needs.
So I think
of
I'm
the
going to hold
expanding
off on
bureaucracy.
the bureaucracy civic switch. I think I'm going to go for a philosophy bulb with the great scientist. And then do a 2-for-1 civic switch. So that way I can generate a great merchant quicker. And then when comes time to have a military buildup, that's when I'm gonna switch out of pacifism, hopefully to theocracy, but we'll see. We'll see if that's available. Okay, so I can trade trade furs to Joao, except that I'm at the happiness cap. So I'm gonna wait till that 4th fur resource comes online before I trade it to him. Okay, so now these guys are gonna trade metal casting. After I put a turn into it. So obviously I'm not going to trade civil service to Brennus. There's no way I'm doing that. So I am going to need metal casting in order to get to machinery and engineering. The question is, should I self-research it or should I trade for the remainder of it? So I'm going to get another great scientist in 6 turns. So I think with the philosophy bulb I can probably pick up feudalism. So I think I will go ahead and finish self-researching metal casting. So that barbed swordsman was defeated by a French archer. So I don't need to finish up that axeman that I'm building in Chichen Itza. Even though it's mostly done at this point. Doesn't look like he's gotten far into civil service, if at all, so I definitely don't want to be trading him that. So I am at the happiness cap in the capital. Although at this point I don't have the excess food to grow. Well, not grow at any reasonable pace at any rate. So I'm actually going to send this axeman to Fogbust to the north and recall one of my Hulkins for military police purposes. So a great general was born overseas somewhere, so some kind of war going on. Which is probably a good thing. Slow the AIs down a bit.
And them that take the sword shall perish
Okay,
by the
metal
sword.
casting is in, and immediately 2 of these AIs are willing to trade machinery. Unfortunately, Joao is not one of the AIs that has machinery. At least, not yet. Now, chances are he's not going to go for philosophy, so that probably means that if I bulb philosophy, I'm going to be able to trade it to him for a worthwhile tech, so either machinery or feudalism. So that should work out okay. Yeah, so... yeah, I think I'm gonna cut the video right about here. So, I think going forward, my general plan is to get another great scientist, light bulb philosophy, and then hold that as trade bait. And then start working on generating a great merchant. Start building up military units in the queues. And pick up the remaining key military techs. And then ramp up to war against Brennus. Yeah, I'm just looking through these trades here. I mean, as usual, the AIs make ridiculous trades with one another. Trading strategic resources for things like crabs and rice and stuff like that. Anyway, so yeah, I need machinery, I need engineering, I need feudalism, and that is pretty much going to be it until the Celtic War is over. So if I can actually win it and force him to capitulate, then I think that would really help my chances of actually winning this game. Of course, if I fail to do that, then that pretty much means I've lost the game. Okay, yeah, so I think I'm going to cut it right about here. So as always, I welcome all feedback and criticism, and I will see you on the next video.